boy. He's such a gorgeous boy. His name is Charlie. I'm sitting in a coat. I'm actually just sitting in a coat. Charlie, say hello to the Huns. They love you and you love them. Okay, let me get my coat off. Angels. Oh, I got lipstick on my teeth. Oh my goodness, yes I have. I'm all over the shop. All over the shop. Hello honeys, welcome back to my YouTube channel. If you're just joining me now, then hi, my name's Imogen. If you are just joining me now, then please hit the subscribe button, join my family of Huns. I don't know how you found me, but I'm so grateful that you found me. And if you are returning and you're an OG Hun, then I'm so grateful that you returned, and I hope that this video gives you something that you want. Okay, so today we have Storytime Sunday. I am so excited. Every single Sunday we have Storytime series over here on this channel. I'm uploading 3 times a week at the moment. I need to get to grips with what days you want me to upload, so I'll leave a little pinned comment. Make sure you let me know. Oh, so basically as well, if you're worrying about this setup, or if you're wondering about this setup, no one would be worrying, Imogen. Basically, I have just found a flat. I'm so excited. Me and my beautiful fiance are moving into a flat in Hove. However, we have no furniture, so I'm just filming on my dad's bed. I've got no light. I'm literally just in front of the window, so I apologise if it's a little bit all over the shop. Let me definitely just check. I haven't got any more lipstick on my teeth because I feel like I can taste it. Yes, I have. Absolutely wonderful. And there as well. Does anyone actually want to subscribe? Probably not. This video follows on from my last video, which was about Nationwide. So I actually got the job of personal banking manager. Please definitely go into my description. I'm just sliding off the bed. Please definitely go into my description to get all of the other story times that I've done on my previous jobs. I've done loads of story times as well on friendships and loads of different things, and relationships. But make sure you go into the description to get all of the list of my old jobs and all my other story times leading up to this one. Basically, we have now come back to the branch. We did our training course. I passed the training course and now I was a trained personal banking manager. However, I wasn't trained. Like, they give you a 2-week course and then you go into the branch and you're like, still don't know what I'm doing, hun, so what's going on? You know, it's like that. You're like, you feel like a fish in sand. No, I don't know what the saying is. A fish out of water? Yeah. Basically, you don't feel comfortable and you don't feel confident, and your manager actually has to sit in for the first like beginning stages of your one-on-one personal banking manager sessions, which is even more scary. Yes, my baby. It's even more scary because your manager's just sitting in and you have to be compliant. Like, you have a checklist of like 2 pages per thing. So for a credit card, you have 2 pages. Debit card, you have 2 pages. Home insurance, 3 pages, and so many different things. So when you get someone sitting down in front of you, it's like, this is really different to the training course, because on the training course they know that you're training, so it's easy. But when it's actually real life situations, you're so nervous and you can't say one thing wrong because you could lose your job, you could get fined, you could go to I think you could go to prison if you're not compliant and you've said something false to someone. I don't know how it works, but I know that there are bad things that come from it, because if you've sold something wrong, you've missold something to someone, it's really bad. Because let's say I said to someone for home insurance, I didn't tell them exactly the right things. They could come back and say, right, listen, I've been paying for this home insurance, she lied to me, what are you going to do about it? And then they're like, Imogen, what do you do? Do you know what I mean? So you're like, I don't know. So basically, I was so worried about being compliant. However, when the manager was sitting in there, you're just so nervous, you feel like you're being watched, but it was fine. Working in the branch, I worked there for 3 months because obviously I was going back to university, and a lot of people say that it's not very fair that, actually not a lot of people say, the tiniest amount of people have commented saying that it wasn't fair that I worked in a branch for 3 months knowing I was going back to university. However, in this day and age and in life, and it's not even in this day and age, it's in general, my parents have instilled in me that you need to work hard if you want something, and I wanted to go back to uni, but I needed to pay for myself. And also another question that I've had is, I went to private school, I had private school education, why weren't my parents helping me? Someone said that and I was like, whoa, like, okay, I had private school education, but I had scholarships to every single private school I went to. My parents couldn't just fork out the amount of money that it was. I had to have a scholarship to be able to go to a private school, and my parents saved up all of their money. Like, we were never rich kids at private school. My parents put their money that they earned into our education. It wasn't like we had lavish things around the house. They really, and I'm so grateful to them for that, and I'll never be able to fully thank them for that because I'm just so grateful for giving me a really good start in education. Not saying you need private school, because you don't, but I'm just saying. But my parents, when I turned 16, they were divorced. They were divorcing, I think. It was a very long process. It was a very long couple of years of divorcing. Things changed, financial things changed, and I never expected them. Like, when I turned 16, they were like, okay, Imogen, you can work now, go and work. And I was like, fine, get me all the jobs. Like, I wanted to earn money, and I've had that instilled in me from my parents from the get-go. Like, they both have worked so hard throughout my whole childhood, throughout their whole lives. Like, my parents were fostered and they didn't have people looking after them 24/7. Like, they had no one around them except themselves. So they brought me and my brothers up on their own, and I can't even explain to you how much I respect my parents. And I guess they gave me the mentality of, you go to work and you get your things, and I needed to go to uni and I needed to pay my way, and my university was so expensive because it was a stage school, so it, you know, it's not covered completely by the government. So I was like, I need to earn this money. So yes, okay, I started a job that was for 3 months, but actually it was, baby girl, I had to get that 3-month job in order to go to London and afford to be at university. And I couldn't work at H&M, Hollister, New Look, all the other places, because it wasn't enough. So I worked 3 jobs just to go to London, and on top of all working at the bank, I worked 2 other jobs on the side of it just to earn money to go there. And you know, unfortunately it is a dog-eat-dog world, and I'm not like that. I'm not that kind of person that's like, I'll screw you over to get somewhere. But essentially I had to, because no one was going to fund me to go to university, so I had to work a job, and I didn't have loyalties to that job. Like, I feel bad, obviously I feel bad that I worked somewhere for 3 months and had to leave, but in actual fact it got me to university, and that's my end goal. And this is one thing I want to say to all of you, like, go out and get what you need to get. It's your life, you have to live it for you. If you need to afford something, go and get it, like, go and get it. And unfortunately some people feel like life is gonna give you everything. It doesn't. You have to go out and get it yourself, and that's something that I'm grateful I did. You know, I look back and think, yes, you baby girl, you're a boss, independent baby princess, and you got your university. You did it all on your own. You know, anyway, okay, so, right, let's get into the actual story. So during that work process, it was a little bit of a nightmare because I was very young. I was 19, 20, and back in 1920s, no, I was really young, and everyone else at the building society at Nationwide were older than me, and they'd worked in the bank for a long time. So your baby princess turning up, all loving life, like, my skirt was a bit short, I was just chilling. I think they were very much like, who's this baby girl? And also the people behind the cash registers, they actually had to speak to me about what clients I needed. So I'd have to actually go in and speak to these women who had worked at the bank for 25 years minimum, who knew everything and more I'll never ever get to know, who had so much life experience on me, as well as all this intelligence on me with the compliancy of running the building society. And there's me like, okay guys, so I need to get, and honestly, how can I do that? How, as a 19, 20-year-old, like, go in there and be like, listen, you better, I know I wasn't gonna go in there like that, but imagine being the other woman and being like, excuse me, like, who are you to come in here and tell me? But that was the nature of the job. Like, I had to say to them, right guys, so I've got slots from 11 till 1 today. If you have anyone that comes in that needs certain things, book them in with me. And it was really intimidating because yes, I did it because I had to, but I feel like I did it in a nice way. I feel like I made them feel really, this is the way I did it anyway. I went in and I was like, guys, thanks so much for getting so many customers and clients through my doors. I'm so grateful. You're doing amazingly. Today I actually have like some slots. So if you have anyone that comes through and you're like, you know, you think that they're a good fit, then definitely send them through my door. Thanks so much. You're both doing absolutely incredible, and I'm so grateful that you're sending the right customers to me. I just need customers that are, you know, this age, this criteria. And I just explained it to them, and I feel like I gave them compliments whilst also asking for something, because they get sales if they send me sales. So it actually worked for both of us. Like, they would get more bonuses if they hit targets. So we both had to hit a target together, so we had to work together. Anyway, there was this one woman who really didn't like me, and you know when you just know. And she was an older lady, and not old, but she was an older lady than me. Lady, love that, I'm a lady. But she was older than me, and it just, I know she didn't like me. I just knew it from the get-go. And I said to my manager, like, she really doesn't like me. And my manager would be like, she doesn't really like anyone really. She's quite like that. And I'd be like, oh my God, I've got to go and ask her to help me. Anyway, my manager didn't really do that much. Like, she didn't do that much at all. Like, I love The Office. I love Ricky Gervais, and she was Ricky Gervais in The Office. David Brent, like, she did nothing. absolutely nothing, knew nothing. Like I said previously, she got all of my exams wrong. I don't know how she maintained her job. She always had time off. Like, the only thing she would do, I'm not even lying, I'd be there like studying for certain things I'd have to be learning in my office, and she's in her office laminating cards to go on the front of people's doors, like manager, personal banking manager. And I'm like, baby girl, you're getting paid to legit sit and laminate. Like, what? She was on a good wage as well, and I was like, yes, Louise. Anyway, yes, baby, sorry if I scared you there. She was not doing anything. I always had to go to the girls behind the till because they knew a lot more than the manager, even though they probably worked the same amount of time in Nationwide, but they just knew a lot more. Like, they should have been the management. Anyway, this one lady really didn't like me, and I remember walking out of the office, and I walked, like, there was like a door and then another door, and I stood there and I walked out, and I knew she was going to talk about me, so I just waited. And bearing in mind, I can have confrontation. I don't like it, but I can do it if I need to. And I think that I had a little bit more guts in this situation because I knew I was leaving the job. Like, I knew I wasn't going to stay, so I feel like I knew I could confront someone. Anyway, I heard her be like, she doesn't know what she's doing. She was just slagging me off. She was like, that girl, I don't know why she's even working here. She's lazy. She sits in there on her phone. No, I really don't, hun. I actually really don't. And how can you see into my office? Because my office was walls. Like, you can't see. There's no windows into my office. So how were you seeing, hun? She just said, don't know how she got the job. She's SHIT. She was just slagging me off. So I walked back in and went, hun, just heard everything you said. If you want to say something, say it to my face. Honestly, I was so proud of myself for confronting someone, because no one should get away with talking SHIT about you in front of your face. Like, there's trolls on the internet. I can't get over, you know, I can't lean through the screen and be like, hun, why are you saying that? But I actually can speak to someone, and I think that when I was younger I used to let everyone walk all over me, that now I'm more like, I'm not going to tolerate it. So I was like, I called her out on it, and she was like, how dare you speak to an older person like that? And I was like, so wait, age hasn't actually come into this at all, because you're speaking about someone that's younger than you, who's just come into a job. If you really want to get age into it, then realistically you've made yourself look really nasty by slagging someone off who's so new to something, and you're telling me I'm rubbish at a job that I've only just started. And I said, everyone has to start somewhere. And she was like, get out, you're Larry. She was shouting at me, she swore at me. And when she swore at me, I was like, right. Anyway, the manager wasn't in this day, but there was another lady that actually watched that and witnessed it. And she came out to me, she was so sweet and so soft. Let's call her Charm. She was amazing. And she came out and she was like, I'm so sorry she did that. You know, it was really awkward for me because she was slagging you off and it was really hard for me. And I was like, listen, I don't expect you to stick up for me. I'm really sorry that you've actually had to just witness that, because she was a really soft, shy person. I knew that that was a really uncomfortable situation for her. I said to her, I'm going to speak to the manager tomorrow, but I didn't expect her to back me up because I didn't want her to get involved in something. Anyway, I spoke to the manager and I was like, listen, you can look at the CCTV, you can see she was extremely aggressive in her behaviour. She was shouting in my face like this, and I was really calm. I was like, listen, if you have a problem with me, you can sit me down and talk to me. I'm really sorry that you don't think I'm great, but you shouldn't be sitting there slagging someone off that's new to your team. Like, we're meant to be a team. We're not a team right now. And then anyway, I spoke to my manager about it. My manager was like, she's just like that. And I was like, do you know, that's really bad that you're just accepting she's like that. Like, you're giving her excuses and no one's going to want to work here. Anyway, during this time, my stomach condition was beginning. Yeah, this was a really, really weird part of my stomach condition because it was the beginning and everyone at the doctor's surgery just said it's IBS, and it turned out it definitely wasn't IBS, and I have a long-term condition which is life-threatening. Thanks, doctors, love you. It was just a really difficult time because I hated the job I was in, but I was only working there to get back to uni. My stomach condition was just playing up. I had a woman at work that really didn't like me. I was working 2 other jobs on the side of this job that I really didn't like, and I was going back to London. This was a clear warner saying to me, my stomach going, don't go to uni, you're not well. But Imogen's like, I'm meant to be at uni. And do you know what? If I'd listened to my stomach back then, who's to know what would happen? I don't know whether I could have prevented the, you know, the bad things that happened to my stomach, or prevented living with awful girls in London at uni, or prevented loads of different things. But do you know what? Life is set on a path, and no matter how bad you think it seems at some point, it does actually get so much better. Like, I had such an amazing day the other day because, you know, I've launched a collaboration with a makeup company. Sorry, I'm just going into this and I'm getting emotional, but I feel so grateful that I have a collection with Lottie London. I'm wearing it on my face right now. I'm obsessed with it. And I went to, this is completely off topic, but living in university, I hated it so much. I lived in Angel in London and I was so unhappy there for 6 years because after uni I stayed in London. And I was so lonely. I hated men because I worked in a nightclub where men were just disgusting. And it was so strange because Lottie London actually booked for my launch party, which was yesterday. It was the road where I lived for 6 years. It was behind the university where I was so unhappy. And you know what's even funnier? After the launch, I was there with my fiance. So I was like, I've come back to London with a fiance who I love and adore. I was there with my family. And when we were leaving, we saw the teacher who told me, you'll never make anything of yourself. And it was like, I don't know, I cried with my dad and my fiance and I was just like, life is crazy. Sorry. You don't want to cry in this. It's meant to be a funny story time, isn't it? But life is actually crazy how I want to tell you, never give up on your dreams. Like, I was there with Lottie London with this amazing collection which we took so long to create and I love it so much. And it was all like a sign saying to me, like, it was worth it. Do you know what I mean? Like, your struggle and things you went through were worth it. And then what's even crazier is when we were on the way back to London Victoria, I went past this bus tour, which is like a bakery bus tour. And that's actually where I met the Lottie team 4 years ago, when I didn't even have a YouTube channel. And it's like, it was like a sign, I don't know. But anyway, getting back to this job, so I knew it was coming up to the time where I had to go back to university. But I just want to let you know, like, never give up on what you want. Never give up on what you want. And no matter how dark it seems, and no matter how bad it seems, one day things get better. I promise you, I've been there and it gets better. And you get out of it and you're like, wow, I didn't think I could get through that, but I did. And you look back at your life and you're like, you know what? And do you know what? I will say one thing. You need to pat yourself on the back. You need to be like, do you know what, hun? You got through that. Because there isn't someone around you all the time going, wow, you're amazing, you're amazing. You've got to be your #1 fan. You've got to be the person that goes, do you know what, I am amazing and I got through that. Because I've got loads of flaws, but I'm so proud of myself for getting through that and I'm proud of myself for where I am today. Okay, enough. That's another story. That's another story. Do you know, just shut up. I haven't even got a bra on. Can't believe it. I'm with my best friends, so it's fine. But it was getting to a time where I was like, oh my God, I need to quit this job. What am I going to do? Because I've been going to the doctors quite a lot, I did actually have a little bit of time off. And the doctor had written me off for a week because I was really ill with my stomach, which at the time they didn't really know what it was. And when I went to London, we found out from me being in hospital for a very long time, which I will do story times about when I finish these job story times. But I basically had to sit this manager down, and it was coming up to my 3-month trial period where you then have to have a month's notice given. And in the 3-month trial period, you don't have to give a month's notice. Anyway, it was 2 weeks. So then I sat her down and I was like, she was like, I know what's going on. And I was like, what? She was like, please don't tell me. And I was like, what? She was like, you're leaving. And I was like, oh my God, oh my God. Bearing in mind, she was a very cold lady, so I never really knew she actually liked me. She was very cold and she was really, that's Dad and everyone back. It was a really hard talk because I had to tell this lady, like, I'm leaving, and she was like, are you going back to uni, go back to London? I had to lie because I couldn't tell her that. So I was like, no, I'm just not very well at the moment and I feel like I need to put some time into my health. And do you know what, looking back at it, I should have actually put time into my health because going to uni was, but anyway, it doesn't matter because life's got to where it has and it's amazing and I don't regret anything. But I definitely should have listened to my own advice. But she was really sad about it. She was like, oh my God, what am I going to do? And then she started getting really angry, right? And I was like, oh my goodness. She started getting angry, a bit irate, shouting like, how could you do this to me? And I was like, oh my goodness. And I was like, oh, hi. 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 I missed you.
Hello.
Hello.
Hi.
I got some nice bits. I'm just filming story time. I've nearly finished. Love you.
I love you.
So anyway, yeah, you won't believe it. Baby's heard all these stories. So then she got a bit angry and I was like, hun, like, I'm not being funny, but you're getting angry about something which I'm not staying if you're gonna get angry. And she was like, you've screwed me over. And I was like, I kind of have, I get that. But there were loads of other people that wanted the job anyway, and not justifying that, but the way she got was horrible. She sent me some nasty WhatsApps, like, oh my goodness. She sent some nasty WhatsApps. She was like, I can't believe you've done this to me. You've let me down. You've let the whole team down. I was like, oh my goodness. You never had my back when someone was so rude to me and horrible to me in this, you know, team. And now you're saying to me, I've let the team down. Pretty sure they've all let me down. But anyway, no, they didn't all let me down. You know what I mean. So then what's really bad is I actually, when I started a YouTube channel, sent out a nice big WhatsApp message and I broadcasted it to like lists. I sent it to her. I sent it to her. She messaged me back like, don't you dare ever send me anything. Delete my number. I was like, I thought we could, you know, I thought we let it lie. It's like a year and a half later or something I started, no, maybe even longer, like a couple of years. And it's like, oh wow, she still hates me. So if I see her now, move back to Brighton, geez Louise, I don't know what she's gonna say. But anyway, I'm really sorry if that story time was a little bit all over there. I don't even know why I started crying. I'm really sorry, but I just feel proud of where I am and I'm so grateful for all of you, and I wouldn't have any of these opportunities without you. My next story time gets a little bit spicy as well. Actually, does it? Maybe we're not going into the club yet. We're not going into the club yet. We're going into the one before the club, but we're getting there. We're nearly through the story times. Don't worry about it, angels. These jobs ones will be finished soon, and then we'll go on to the next topic of story times. But please make sure you subscribe. Join my family of Huns. I'd be so grateful. We have the most loving family on the internet, so make sure you subscribe, because who wouldn't want to be part of the most loving family on the internet? I love you all, and until next time, I'm gonna love you, and I'm gonna love you. Okay, I love you all so much. Bye. What's that on my head? Oh, baby kissed me. Put my lipstick on my head. Bye.